So it is Tuesday, the 24th, and I'm just out here editing my OnlyFans content at a very public cafe. Just got recognized by this guy. He was like, yeah, me and my girl gotta come trip with you. And I think he seen my titties on the screen, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I feel high on life, high on possibilities. It's an immense feeling, you know? So a few months ago, I had this immense realization, as I often find myself doing, and what a privilege that is. But this immense realization had me asking myself the question of, have I ever looked in the mirror and realized that I've never felt more in my element than I do right now? Okay, I'm gonna rephrase the question because it might be a little strangely worded, but have you ever looked in the mirror and realized that you have never felt more in your element than you do now? I'm reading The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm on like the 20th page and I'm like, yeah, this right here. This book talks a lot about attachment. What is it? Attachment and domestication, and how that has shaped who we have grown up to be. Okay, so he says domestication is the primary system of control. Starting when we are young, we are presented with either a reward or a punishment for adopting the beliefs and behaviors of what others find acceptable. When we adopt these beliefs and behaviors as a result of either the reward or punishment, we can say that we have been domesticated. And I feel my whole life I've been just trying to get back to my feral nature, just being a wild ass woman. I would love to hear you guys' answers on, have you ever looked in the mirror and been like, whoa? Like maybe just from the standpoint of like thinking of yourself as you were 12 and just being like, sometimes I've looked in the mirror and seen my inner child, and I've seen my inner child receiving what she's looking at in the mirror. And I don't know exactly how I felt like I would turn out, but or you know what? No, cap. I knew how I would turn out, but I didn't know what it would look like. That's what it is. I knew how it would turn out, but I didn't know what it would look like. Like I knew that I would be I knew that I would know how to speak for myself and how to articulate certain things and present myself in a specific way, but I didn't know what that way would look like. And so now it's just been like very big moments of just like, you that bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And from that is where it's like, I'm looking at everybody else and I'm like, you that bitch. In the video I did talking about love is the foundation of all, I said everyone is a reflection of me, and I didn't really go super in depth about it, but I knew what I was saying. But somebody asked if I could like clarify what that meant, because it is a very layered fact to talk about. Like I really didn't know how to explain it, but this book explains it. Okay, so he tells a story that recounts the story of a man called Smoky Mirror. So after many years of study, Smoky Mirror comes to the realization that I am made of light, I am made of stars, the real us is pure love, pure light. And so then after he has this immense realization, he looks to his village and he knows that everyone and everything he sees is a manifestation of God. And he intuitively understands that the human journey is a process of the divine becoming aware of itself. That is the best way to explain it. The divine becoming aware of itself. And I feel like that might not be hitting for some of y'all the way that it really does hit when you really know what I'm talking about. But if we are if we are all the divine, if we are all source, if we are, for one, we are all energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. When we pass away, when we die, I've already talked about death, but when we die, our soul, where the fuck does our soul go? Clearly our soul goes into whatever new dimension it's gonna be in to reassess the life that it just lived, X, Y, and Z, determine if you gotta reincarnate That's a whole other thing. But the point that I'm trying to make is we are all created of the same type of energy. We are all created of the same type of love and light and truth. So it's like, yes, we are the same. Yes, me loving myself is me also loving you. Like, we can't really sit here and argue about that shit, because it's just like, it just makes things so much easier. Like, when you really realize that, like, everyone is a reflection of you, it's just easier for you to deal with shit. It's easier for you to handle anger. It's easier for you to, instead of reaction, respond. I don't know, to give like some kind of like story time that might help you guys digest this even more. Last month, December, last month, I was talking to this person, and I realized we didn't want the same things. And my friend Y, who I've had on this channel, I was talking to her about it, and she was like, you're upset because this person is not seeing you the way you want to be seen. And then she was like, well, this person is just a reflection of you, so where are you not seeing yourself? And I said, stop it. Stop it right now. I don't want to take accountability right now. I want to blame. I want to blame. I want to shame somebody else. I don't want to have to like reach enlightenment about this situation right now. I don't want to look at them and see a mirror, and then that's what Shawty's making me do. Where are you not seeing yourself? Why do you need them to see you? Because if you see yourself in every single aspect, you're not going to need somebody else to see you. And that just sent me down another, like, so many different aspects of like the spiritual journey. There's so many different, it's like just paint splattering. Like, all right, we could just like throw paint at like a canvas, and the paint itself is the journey, but all the little strings attached and like everywhere else that the paint splatters, it's just like different aspects of this journey. And there's so many different ways to receive and learn, and it's like all of it is different, and yet all of it is connected. Just like the point that I'm trying to make when it says I love you because I love myself, you know? Like, I can't have one and not the other. And I know that is something that is so, if people just simply understood that, the world of a difference that it would make. So there's one more thing that I'd like to mention that I've read in this book so far. And I've come across this part where he basically explains there's typically 3 reasons as to why someone else is able to invoke such anger within us. And one of the reasons talks about mirroring. And this mirroring, I'm about to read to you what it says. It says, everyone is our mirror, and our reflection of things that we do not like about ourselves is most vivid in those who have the same qualities. In other words, you may see a piece of yourself in this other person even if you don't realize it. The truth may come as a surprise to some of you, and your initial reaction may be to disagree, but I invite you to look deeper. Whatever characteristic you see in another that you do not like is often a characteristic you see in some degree in yourself. For instance, if you catch someone in a lie and that bothers you greatly, can you find a time in your past where you have also been a liar? If you find yourself complaining about the shortcomings of your friends, notice how many of those complaints could also apply to you. This can be a hard truth to swallow at first, but it is also a useful tool to dissolve any negative internal reaction that occurs when dealing with someone else, because it allows you to see him or her as yourself. I know that is triggering for some people. But I think for me, the way that showed up a lot personally had to do with my father, particularly for those of you who've been watching me for a while. Many of you guys know I have this poem, and it's entitled The Magician, and it's on my Instagram. It's the very first post on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out. But it basically is a poem of me and my shitty relationship with my father, and the entire poem I'm using very complex metaphors describing him as the magician. And it's very, very dope. I would recommend you go check it out. Shameless plug. But literally, I wrote that poem like 4 or 5 years ago. As time has played out and developed, of course, I've written other father poems, and many times in many of the poems I acknowledge the similarities between my father and I. Like, what I said in one of the poems, I was like, I see my father when I look in the mirror, all reaction, no response, the way we handle anger and our eye roll, shit like that, you know? And yeah, it's a very prominent aspect of all of us that could definitely be looked into deeper in every single aspect, because it is there. It is right in front of you, and it's right in front of you for everyone you come across, bro, whether it's your mom or like the lady who's bagging out your groceries that you've never seen before. Like, it's there. And yeah, it can be difficult, but I think that the thing that doesn't make it difficult is you just having less resistance to it. It's like, bro, there's so much good and bad. There's so much duality within everything at all points in all of time, that it's like everybody has negative qualities. Everyone's learning. Okay, if you find out about some within yourself, like, it doesn't fucking matter. I think what does matter is you actually being aware of that, because that's a step in the right direction. Like, you're acknowledging that that is the truth even within yourself, that hey, I might do X, Y, and Z. I might be a little impatient, and other people being impatient irritates me even though I am impatient. So yeah, everyone's a fucking mirror. So you know, congratulations in, you know, whatever you guys decide to do with that information. We can even take a more like blatant example of like abuse. Like, you hitting up on somebody, you hitting somebody, but you don't like it when they do that back to you. But like, to hit them is to be hitting you symbolically. So like, how are you justifying this? How are you justifying anything that you're doing? Like, people really don't be thinking about shit, bro. It's actually crazy, the lack of thought that people put behind the things that they do. You would think that people would be more conscious of that. And something just a side note that's coming to my head, but I feel like I'm gonna find a way to connect all of this, is like, Christians are the only ones who go onto other people's like social media platforms and it's like, you need to repent to God. You don't see spiritual people going onto a Christian YouTube channel and spewing the word of self. You don't see that shit. It just be a whole bunch of niggas in my comments talking about you need Jesus. Kids think nature is the answer. God is the answer. And I'm like, yeah, like, God is the answer. I am God. And if I am God, craziest thing ever, you are as well. And niggas get angry. Niggas get angry about that shit. Like, what the fuck? Niggas are actually angry about that. That's crazy. That's insane. Like, I'm sorry that I recognize the power that you have within yourself, and I'm telling you about it. I'm sorry? Question mark? I'm fucking sorry. I'm sorry that I see the light in you, because I see it in myself. Other day, I had some girl in my DMs. Somebody had reposted my God I Am poem. When I die, do not tell the kids I'm in heaven. Instead, show them an image of a circle and point out all the places that it does not stop. Tell them that this is what it means to occupy a body. Our soul undergoes different life cycles, and I just so happen to be done with this one. For I am not dead. I am alive in even more aspects than before. There will be no tales about a white man dying for my vices. No story about the eternal search for a God that is outside of me. Tell the kids that I went into a canal similar to the one we come out of. Tell them that I was greeted by beings I've known for eons. Describe a vortex filled with colors never before seen by the human eye. Tell them I am both here and somewhere else. The breeze on the back of your neck, the everything on a bagel, all the hairs you shave away that keep growing back, for I am God. But do not worship me, for what is God but not a mirror of both you and me? I do not dream of an eternal white paradise filled with those from my past life. To be honest, that sounds boring. Where is the soul's progression if we never learn our lessons? I dream of experiencing all sides of the spectrum, embodying every archetype that begat the universe until I exhale new galaxies that begat the universe. For there is so much more to discover in life after death. Somebody had reposted my God I Am poem and on their story. And so she DM'd, some random girl just DMs me. And she's like, oh, so you think you're God? You think we're supposed to bow down on our knees to you? You think we're supposed, or would you die on a cross for our sins? Like all this Christian rhetoric. And I was like, oh, no to every single question you've asked me. No. Like, I'm like, and I'm thinking, are you okay with the thought of like, you die? Like, are you okay with the thought of you getting on your knees for some white man? Like, honestly, like, be completely honest with yourself. Are you okay with the thought of, are you okay to give away your power to somebody else? To some being created? Who knows if it was real or not? Like, and then it's another thing is like, I was talking about this yesterday. All of these fucking religions are the same. All of these fucking religions are the same. It's just a difference within the main character of the religion, the main character of the story. Got Jesus Christ. I don't know, like, you know, like deities and goddesses and gods and goddesses in like other religions. I don't want to say any specific because I don't know exactly what they are referred to in like Hinduism, and like I know the Buddha, but the Buddha is not the same type of thing. It's like the main character in that story, I guess, but it's not like, let's put you on a pedestal, let's pray to you. Like, it's find that within yourself. So yeah, it's actually very, very disappointing to me. Actually, it's not disappointing because I don't care. I'm not finna lose any sleep over what niggas believe in. Shit, I just come on here and I do my little dance on YouTube, and if you resonate, you do. If you don't, cool, that's fine. It's a good ass smoothie, bro. It's a good ass fucking smoothie, bro. I'm like, are y'all putting drugs in this? Like hard drugs in this?